is Mary. I'm the Tween Teen Librarian at the Huron Public Library. I'm so glad you joined me today. You only have about a week until school, so this will be your last craft that we offer until school starts. In September, we will have more activities. Just watch the calendar and watch the Facebook page. Today, we're going to make a fairy house. You should have picked up your kit at the curbside service. And inside each craft there's directions. Then you should have your bottle. You should have some leaves, flowers, and then also there's some embellishments that you can put on your bottle. And then you also have a fairy. So you need that for a fairy house. You will also need a paintbrush, a scissors, hot glue, the double-sided tape, water, and then some kind of paper sticky note to make the door. In your kit should have been paint too, and I just have it still in the bottle. What you're going to do first is you're going to take your bottle, and this one here won't hardly even stand up. What you want to do is you want to cut the bottom to make it level. And this might take a little bit of work to make it trimmed. It seems like one side you get cut down and then the other, and I want a little bit more off this side here. Okay. On the back side, you have to get rid of that label. So what I did was I took my scissors and I kind of scraped it like so. And then if it gets hard, I used alcohol. And you can use alcohol and it kind of loosens it up. And then you keep scraping it. When you get everything scraped off the back, you take your piece of paper, and I'm making the door with this. So I wanted a rounded top door, so I just kind of did a rectangle with a top on it. And I am going to put mine on with a double-sided tape, and that's why you have double-sided tape, or some kind of tape. You can roll it into rings if you want. You just kind of put it on the plastic. Once you have your door on, you're going to take your paint, and I want my bottle to be yellow. My home, it's going to be yellow, and the top is going to be blue. When you take and you paint this, you need to realize that it's going to take maybe 2 or 3 coats. You need to let it dry about a half hour in between each coat. So let's take the paint, and I'm going to take the yellow, and I'm just going to cover up the door. You don't worry. That will still give you a clear opening for your fairy to go in. And I painted up here yellow too. And the reason was we're going to cut that part off. It will show that the inside is painted, and I want it painted yellow. Okay, so you keep painting. Like I said, like here, this is going to show, so you need 2 or 3 coats. All right, I'm finished with the yellow now, and it's dried. I let it dry. I want to paint the blue over the yellow. And you want to clean your brush out well, because if you have yellow paint in it and you put blue, it'll make it green. So I really washed out my brush. On the bottle, there's a natural line. I am going to take the blue, and you just paint up to that line. It doesn't have to be straight because we're going to cut the top of this bottle off. You would also want to make sure you paint the top and give it a good coat. The top has a hard time covering. When you get that finished, set aside, let it dry, and you'll probably have to put another coat on. Your fairy house now is dry. you can take and peel off the door. I always think of a fairy house kind of out in the garden, in the woods with the forest around it. So I'm going to go with the weathered look. Next, I want to make the roof. The roof, you need to have your scissors. You take and you cut. I kind of squeezed it, and then I aimed right at the bottom of my line. And hopefully you have good sharp scissors, which mine are not. And you can also go this route. I want it above my door, so I do not really want to cut into my door. Okay. This I'm going to trim a bit. All right, there is my roof. Now on the roof line, you see these here? You cut up about 1 inch on each one. And we're going to bend these so that it looks like a thatched hut. Okay, and see how on this house they're bent? On this, all I did was I took and I turned them over like this, and this is why I wanted the inside painted, so the inside of the thatch shows yellow. And I bend those down, kind of loosen them up, and then I take and I press down. And I want it bent pretty well because you need to glue this on to your bottle. So, see how I'm pressing down and I'm squishing? It's just manipulating them so that you can get them glued on the bottle. Okay, let's try that. So then, see how that works? All right, the next thing you need to do is take and put a little bit of a line of glue on the inside. So take your hot glue gun, be very careful so you don't get burnt with this. And put a line of glue off and on the inside there. Now this to me was the hardest part. And I want to make sure those are bent. And you take and you put your roof on like that. It looks like a little thatched roof. And I want to go around and make sure that all my little thatches are loose, and they work. Okay. Now for the fun part. You take your flowers and you decide where you want them. And I have learned that less is more. So I take my flowers and I'm just going to put some here and there. I'm going to take and put the back of the glue, and you do not have to glue the whole flower. Just put a tad of glue where you want it stuck on. And there you go. My leaves, I did the same things. If my leaf is too big, you can trim it down, or you can use that size. That one's up to you. I'm going to trim it down a little bit, and you just kind of cut it like the outside of the flower or the leaf pattern. And remember, leaves aren't perfect. They do not have to have a perfect pattern. So that's what I'm going to do. And I want my leaf kind of tucked behind my flower, so I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the end there. And I'm going to tuck it like so. Then you have embellishments, and I wanted my embellishment on the roof of my house, so I took it and I put a little bit of hot glue, and I just stuck them down. Have fun with this. This is the fun part. This flower here, so take and I put mine on top here. I just wanted it, I wanted, fairies like bright things. They like things shiny and bright. So that's why I wanted the red on top, because I think that's how a fairy would decorate the house. And I wanted it in with other flowers. So that's why I chose to do that, kind of like a hidden gem. Last but not least is my fairy. I want to put my fairy by her home. I tried to put it inside the home and that was too difficult. I need to decide where to put her, and I want to put her right here in the door. Then you take and you put a couple little dabs of glue on the wings, and you place your fairy where you would like her. This one I'm going to put front and center, and I also want her feet on the ground, and there you have it. And here's the other one. You can easily make these. It doesn't take a lot of money. You probably have enough materials where you can make 2 of them and make a fairy village. It was also suggested to me that if you use a larger quart size pop bottle, you could make like a birdhouse. And in your picture, there are lights. So you can take and add the lights, and I think it would be pretty for your bedside table. So thank you for joining me today. You have a wonderful first day of school next week, and don't forget to visit us at the library. Bye.